Hello everybody, Kevin Marino here, your Straight Talking Networker. Hope everybody's having an amazing day out there today. I want to get right into it and really just talk to you about something that if you want your teams to just take off and go absolutely crazy, you really need to set the full foundation. Now, when we're talking about setting the full foundation, one of the biggest pieces to that foundation is goal setting. And a lot of times people say, oh yeah, no, I got my goals. I always ask one simple question: are they written down? You see, because if they're not written down, they're not real. You need to start writing stuff down. You just write stuff down. There's times where, and as I've been, in my past, I've been so bad about writing stuff down that what I end up finally doing is one of my mentors just say, listen, just scribble stuff on paper. Because I don't care what it is. Write it on Post-its, write it in a book, write it in a journal, write it. He told me, he goes, I know you're terrible at doing journals and stuff like that. He goes, so don't worry about it. He goes, here's what you need to do. You need to concentrate on just writing it down. Because when you write something down, all right, the chemistry in your brain, it changes. It reacts to you writing stuff down. So it's a very big lesson to you, to your team, to everybody that you deal with. Write down your goals. And they did this study. Think about this for a second. Look at Harvard Business School. Now, Harvard Business School has some of the most amazing people that have come out of it. You're talking the smartest of the smartest, best of the best. I mean, these people they get it, they understand it, they're really smart people. They tracked them for approximately 30 years, and they looked at the results that they received, that they achieved. They looked at what did they accomplish in life? How did they get there? Who earned it? Who didn't earn it? And all that. They went through all of that. And what they realized is that the top 5% were the people who wrote down their goals and had vision boards. The top 2 to 3% were the ones that all had vision boards as well as written goals. So now, when I say the top, okay, so the top people were there. Now, those top 5% outperformed the bottom 95% by almost 100 times. Let that sink in for a bit. The top 5 outperformed the bottom 95 by almost 100 times. That's insane when you think about it. Now, because again, we're not talking, this is not just a normal school. We have some real smart, some dumb people, and all those in the middle. You're talking, this is Harvard Business School. I mean, you're talking the best of the best. And the top 5 there outperform about 100 times. I mean, it's insane. What was the commonality? The commonality was written goals. So, okay, so I'm gonna go through today some of the things you should be writing down. All right, so if you're working on your network marketing business, it's not just about the money you want to make. Obviously, that's a portion of it. Absolutely. You need to write down what your 7-day goal, 7, 30, 60, 90, 6 month, 1 year, 3 and 5 year. Now, are all of these going to be totally accurate? And no. But it gives you a guide to where you're going to go. You see, think about it this way. All right, I live in Connecticut. All right, so let's say I wanted to go to this little town just north of Napa Valley in California. Okay, so for me, that's a 3,000-mile trek. Now, I know if I wanted to, I could hop in my car and just start going west, and I'm going to find my way through here and there and everywhere. And I don't know where I'm going to stay. I don't know what I'm going to do. I'll just kind of wing it. And eventually I'll hone in on the area. See, I know it, I'll just head toward Napa, and I know it's this little place, a little up, it's off the beaten path. It's, third left at the Red Barn, and, I'll eventually find it. Think about that for a second. I could do that. All right. The other way, I could get a map out. I could map my way across. I could figure it out. I'll follow it on the map, and I'll get there in a much better way. Or I can use my GPS. Now, see, my GPS has traffic, so it gets me through the trouble areas. If I happen to make a wrong turn, it recalculates and gets me back on course. You see, goals your short-term leading into your long-term goals are like a GPS. All right, see, if you start to go a little off course, they're going to you're going to see you're off course because of your short-term goals. You're going to recalculate and get yourself back on course. Okay, along the way as you're going out there, you're going to have different places to stay. All right, if you plan those goals, like the first day, I'm going to go to Pittsburgh, and then just outside Pittsburgh, I know this really cool place I can stay, and then from there, I'm going to go through and I'm going to stay in southern Indiana, and then from there, I'm going to stay in Kansas City, and then from Kansas City, I'm going to go to Denver. Okay, if I have these little waypoints along the way, we call these our little goals. These are our short-term goals. All right, when I get there, what do? Well, I relax, I check in, I made the hotel, I let the boys run around. Those of you not familiar, the boys are my 270-pound poodles. They do a lot of traveling with me. So we get the boys out, get them some food, and then we go out and we grab some dinner, and we chill out for the night. Sometimes we'll meet with some folks, we'll do a meeting, and we'll talk about different things. But the whole point is, if I wasn't utilizing my GPS, if I didn't have that goal of getting there, I wouldn't have told people to be there. So therefore, I wouldn't have had that meeting. You see, my goal on my way to, obviously this cute little winery just north of Napa is exactly where I want to go. That's my ultimate goal. But I had a bunch of little goals along the way. If I do it properly, I can do business all along the way by setting those little goals. So your goals, when you sit down and you write them down, I want you to put monetary goals down. I want you to put, I want to make this much money by this date, by this. What's your ultimate? If your ultimate is, I want to make 6 figures a month, great, wonderful. We're going to put that goal out a little bit, and then we're going to say, okay, how do we break that down to get you there? Because here's what I can tell you. If I can teach you how to make $1,000 a month in your current business, I can then teach you how to make 2. I can bring you to 5. If I can get you to 5, I can get you to $10,000 a month. If I can get you to 10, I will show you how to get to 25. And if you get you to 25, I'll show you how to get to 50 and eventually to 100. And sometimes people say, yeah, that's easier said than done. I've done it. I've shown others how to do it. I will show you how to do it because we can create a plan just for you based on your specific company, based on the amount of time you have, based on your comp plan, based on what you need to do. You just need to lay out the goals. See, one of the things you need to realize is everything in our profession is a math problem. Anything you have to do is simply a math problem. You just have to figure out where you ultimately want to be, and then you reverse engineer it to get yourself there in a small bite-sized steps. You ever hear the joke, how do you need an elephant? One bite at a time. Well, if you want to get to 6 figures a month, which is a little insane. Some people don't want to get there. They want to get to 5 figures a month. No problem. If that's your elephant, let's break it down to the bite-sized pieces, and we'll get you there. See, that's the point. So you're going to write down the goals of the dollars of where you want to be. But you also have to be writing down goals of your activity. What are you going to do? If you're working this business part-time, on a daily basis, you should be putting 1 to 3 people per day on the phone doing a 3-way call with your team leaders. 1 to 3 people a day. It's not a lot. All right, if you're doing this full-time, I mean full-time. All right, don't give me that, I'm doing this. I'm doing it full time, but I'm talking to 1 or 2 or 3 people a day. That's not full time. All right, again, you're going to get me. It's a straight talk here. All right, if you're watching this video and you can't deal with straight talk, click the video off. Do yourself that favor. Otherwise, I'm going to irritate you because I'm going to call you out on what you're doing and the difference between what you're saying and what you're doing. See, too many people say, I do this full time, but yet they get like 1 person every day or 2 on the phone with me. I'm like, there's no way you are doing this full time and you're getting 1 person every day or 2 on the phone with me. All right, if you are truly doing this full time, minimum 3 to 5 people per day, you should be doing 3-way calls with your team leaders. Minimum. That's 8 hours plus per day. If you're doing 8 hours plus per day, 0 reason you can't get 3 to 5 per day on the phone with your team leaders. It really is that simple. Everything's a math equation. And the reality is, if you're working with some of the top leaders out there, they don't accept 3 to 5. They accept 5 to 10 per day. And understand, some people go, oh my God, that's a lot. How do you get that many people? You have to want it. All right? You have to want to get there. Will I tell you that you can't succeed if you don't do that much? No. I'm just going to tell you it's going to take you longer. You see, understand, success loves speed. I'm going to blow a myth right out of the water. You know how they say slow and steady wins the race? And they point to the tortoise and the hare and blah, blah, blah. It's BS. All right? Slow and steady only won because fast fell asleep. All right? If you go fast and don't fall asleep, you will win every time over slow and steady. It has to happen. Because if you're fast and steady, nobody can catch you. Slow and steady doesn't stand a chance. If you fall asleep, on the other hand, slow and steady will eventually catch you. Because success loves speed. So when you're doing this, you need to write down what you're going to do each day. So if you're laying out your week, all right, you need to lay it out properly. You need to lay out, okay, from this time to this time, I prospect. Nothing else goes on in your life during that time. You prospect. All right, so if your goal is to do 2 hours of prospecting a day because you're doing this part-time, set aside that time. All right, there's no Facebook, there's no messaging, there's no texting, there's no anything during that time from outside people. You are allowed to use tools to prospect people. You are not allowed during those 2 hour period, during that 2 hour period of time, to get outside influence bothering you or distracting you. You need to be able to focus. Now, if you can do this with your goals, if you can write down where you want to be at specific times, you don't need to get 1 to 3, 3 to 5, or 5 to 10 people per day forever. All right? We built a team recently in the last few years, about 146,000. We did that. What accounted for 70% of it was done in the first 13 weeks. It was a 90-day run. We made a hard 90-day run. I mean hard. All right, for 90 days, did 2 meetings a week. All right, we were doing live meetings. Excuse me. I was contacting 25 to 50 people a day, and I had brand new 10 to 15 people each meeting twice a week. Think about that for a second. All right? That is 20 to 30 people live in a meeting showing up for the first time in person. We did that for 13 consecutive weeks. So somebody looked at me and goes, "Oh my God, that's hard." I went, "Yeah, it was one of the most difficult things I've ever done in my entire life. It was brutal." But understand, at the time, I was literally dead ass broke. I had no excuse. "Oh, well, I don't have time for this." That's all I had was time. So all I did is I focused, and I just hammered it. We wrote out the goals. The goal was 10 to 15 people in each meeting twice a week. I looked at that goal. I had no idea how I was going to get 10 to 15 brand new people in a meeting 2 times a week. That was insanity to me. But guess what? Found a way to get it done. That 13-week period, when we look back after building the team of 146,000, that 13-week period led to 70% of our team. Think about that for a second. It proves success loves speed. All right, a lot of times people say, "Oh, well, you did it once." No, we did it more than once. And as you go through, and as I go through the goals with you, we're going to go through vision boards. We're going to go through how to build your list, how to work your list, what terminology to use, the psychology behind it. We're going to go through all the different pieces, because everything that I give you, I shouldn't say everything, the vast majority of what I give you, what I talk to you about, is practical. You can write it down and go use it. This is homework. Writing your goals down is homework. Some of you have been through this challenge before, or you've done some of the other challenges. All right, you got to get out and write the goals. Some of them will say, I started to write them and I kind of did them, and geez, I hit a bunch of my goals in the beginning, and I just kind of didn't know what to do after that. I went, rewrite your goals, up them now. You've already attained these. Well, now you have a new set of 7, 30, 6 months. You need to keep revisiting. All right, I don't know about you, but my goals today are not what they were 5 years ago. They're not what they were 2 years ago. They're not what they were a year ago. My goals have completely changed in the last year. So yours will too, but you need to keep up with it, because if you don't reprogram your GPS, you don't know where you're going. So you need to do that. You need to reprogram it. And if you want to see a significant uptick in business in your team, in your group, an uptick in activity, you need to share this video. Because this video will get people to start thinking, they need to reprogram their GPS. Or some of them may need to program it for the first time. Your goals are your GPS. You got to live that. You got to know it. You got to share it with people. And you got to get them to buy in, to understand what it's all about. I hope that makes sense to everybody. All right, we're going to get into a lot more great information tomorrow. So you tune on in, and we're going to have some fun. My name's Kevin Marino. I am the Straight Talking Networker. Have a great day, everybody.